Hey, good morning, everybody. It's about 11:46 on this Sunday, and yeah, just thought I'd come on here. You could see the title. We're here to discuss um, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Mostly the announcements that were made over this weekend. Probably still have some more announcements to be made today, as far as we know. Um, but let's get some of these announcements out of the way, shall we? First of all, it was finally confirmed. It was finally confirmed by at Hasbro yesterday, and of course Jim Miller came out on Twitter and confirmed it. That yes, season 9, which is supposed to be upcoming within 2 months, is going to be the last season. Now, right now, it is slated for April of 2019 for the last season to begin. The only problem is that could change, and we could have something in the fall. But I'm more assuming we're going to get something in 2019. We're going to get something in April, according to that one thing I saw on on at the MLP forums. We're going to get something in April. My thought process when it comes to the date, basically, as to when this will occur, and I'm looking at the calendar right now. I'm assuming you're looking between April 6th, 13th, and maybe 20th at the latest. The very latest, I would say, would be the 27th of April. But right now, we're looking at April 6th through the 20th, April 6th, 13th, and 20th as the more logical possible options for season 9 to debut. And again, the last Saturday in April being the latest date at best, because if they want to drag this out for as long as they can, they're going to do so. They're going to do so. So, to me, they're gonna drag this out as far as they can, and go from there. But again, like I said, a more logical, I think, solution or answer as far as like a debut date for season 9 is going to be probably between the start of April and the middle of April, the end of April being, like I say, the latest date at most. Um, the reason being mainly because um, if they premiere season 9 at the end of April, you got to take a look at, you got the first 2 episodes on the 27th, and then you have, let me see here, then you have the 3rd episode on the 4th of May, the 4th episode on the 11th, the 5th episode on the 18th, the 6th episode on the 25th. And then you would have the 7th episode on June 1st, 8th episode on June 8th, 9th on June 15th, 10th on June 22nd, 11th on June 29th, and then the 13th episode would be on July 13th. And I guess that would be suitable. Guess that would be a suitable. Now it's just my dog. She's waking up a little bit from a nap. She's got allergies right now. The weather's not really helping much for us. But anyway, and she's fine. Don't worry. She's in good health and everything. Don't worry. She's still very playful and everything. Good health and everything. It's just she's got allergies right now, mostly because of the weather. But anyway, like I was saying, That would make sense, especially if they want season 9 to go out proper. I think even Jim Miller said that in a tweet. He said he wants it to go out proper. So it would be proper, and it would be ironic that they would end the first half hiatus on on July 13th with the 13th episode. It works out perfectly. But I wouldn't say it's going to be like that. Like I said, more than likely, this is what I'm looking at. More than likely, we're looking at probably April 13th at probably the most realistic date. Because what that does is it basically means you'd be having the last Saturday in June being when the mid hiatus would come to would happen. I should say would happen. The mid hiatus would happen because if the premiere happens on the 13th, you got the first 2 episodes there. Then you got episode 3 on the 20th of April, episode 4 on the 27th, and then the 4th and 11th of May, you would have 5 and 6, I believe. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then on the 18th, you would have episode 8 on the 25th, which would be Memorial Day weekend. You would have episode 9, and then June 1st, you would have episode 10. June 8th, you would have episode 11. June 15th, you would have episode 12, and then June 22nd would be when you would have episode 13, and that's when the hiatus would begin. That's my assumption. My assumption, guys. That's my assumption on it. Not saying it's going to happen. Let me tell you that right now. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Anyway, though, it has been confirmed. Like I said, Jim Miller even confirmed it. And but that wasn't the only news that came out for My Little Pony that came out. We found out that Friendship is Magic is getting a second 44-minute special this summer. Yes, it is getting a second special this summer. And what it's called is called Rainbow Road Trip. Yeah, it's called Rainbow Road Trip. And basically the plot is they're going to go to this town. Ow. Just did something there for a second. Just stubbed my toe a bit. But they're going to go to this town. They're going to go to this town where the color has been completely drained. Now, I'm going to try to look it up, but basically the color's been completely drained, and it's up to the main 6, maybe main 7. I think Starlight's going to be part of this too. I'm not really sure. In fact, let me Google it and see if I can get the plot here. Yeah, here we go. Rainbow Road Trip, MLP. Okay, this was posted about a couple of days ago, but this is part of the Hasbro News Fair. Equestria Daily reports new My Little Pony Rainbow Road Trip animated special synopsis, and it's going to have toys. Now, well, I'm sure these toys here kind of have a relation to it, but this is what Equestria Daily reports. From Toy Fair 2019. From Toy Fair 2019 comes the synopsis of the upcoming Friendship is Magic Rainbow Road Trip. Let me remind you. Let me repeat. Let me reread that. It says, From Toy Fair 2019 comes the synopsis of the upcoming Friendship is Magic Rainbow Road Trip, a 44-minute special dedicated to ponies. It has a summer release date, though no specifics. In other words, it's going to come out this summer. We just don't know, what day. We don't know if it's going to be in July. We don't know if it's going to be before the second half. But we do know that if it's coming out in the summer, it's going to probably more than likely be a couple weeks after, if not a week after the hiatus. So after the first half hiatus begins. So I would assume that we're probably looking at a July 4th. I'll put it this way. Let me look at the date here. Assuming that the first half of season 9 starts that. Well, what I'm saying is assuming the hiatus for the first half after the first half of season 9 starts on the 22nd, assuming, then we could pretty much say that the 4th of July weekend, which 4th of July is going to be on a Thursday anyway, but it's going to proceed throughout up to about the 8th, hopefully in some areas. We could assume that come 4th of July weekend, that's when it's going to be. So I would assume, in my opinion, I'm projecting a July 6th release. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a July 6th release when it comes to this special, to Rainbow Road Trip. So, again, going off what I'm projecting as being the first half, the mid-season finale occurring, which would be around the 22nd, I'm projecting 4th of July weekend to be when Rainbow Road Trip debuts. So, because it gives you plenty of time, it gives you about a 2-week window almost to kind of take a breather and be like, okay, now we can get ready for this. All right. So anyway, with that said, here's the synopsis for Rainbow Road Trip. And I quote, we gotta drink coffee here for a second. And I quote, when Twilight Sparkle and her friends arrive in Hope Hollow, they find the town and all its residents completely devoid of color. Their dream vacation is starting to feel more like a nightmare. The main 6 will have to solve the mystery behind the washed-out world if they hope to bring the rainbow back to the Rainbow Festival and color back to the lives of the new friends. So basically, the plot point here is something has occurred. Something has happened that is taking the color all out of this place that was supposed to be like a dream vacation for the main 6, main 7, Spike, of course, as well. And it's just without the color, this dream vacation, as the synopsis says, is turned into a nightmare. It's not a dream vacation. So basically, they got to figure out, okay, who's behind this, or what's behind this, what's going on, and try to do it within plenty of time to get the color back, to get the rainbow color back for the Rainbow Festival, and get the color back into the lives, as the synopsis says, of these new friends they're going to make. So the synopsis sounds interesting because we get introduced to a new place in Equestria called Hope Hollow. So so we get a new place. We're probably going to get new characters as well. But it also confirms that we're going to get the rainbow powers back here. This might be where the rainbow powers return, and they will be playing, I think, a big part in the rest of the season. And just by going off this synopsis, I got a feeling this special may, emphasis may, play a part in season 8. In the rest of season 9. Now you might say, well, how can that be if they have this now? It doesn't make any sense. Well, here's what's funny. Here's what's funny. When I was posting the link to this live stream on various sites, Twitter and all of them, when I was putting on various sites, okay, okay, when I was putting this at various sites, one thing that popped up on me when I hashtagged MLP season 9, this person on Twitter called Sebastian Cordova, 20 hours ago posted this, and I quote what he says. He says, "Finally, I could talk about this little secret that has been..." Oh, okay. Hear me out. This is what he says. This is what Sebastian Cordova says, and I quote, "Finally, I can talk about this little secret that I had since Licensing Expo 2018. Hashtag MLP Season 9 will be the last season. The CGI movie will be a new movie to introduce hashtag MLP G5. Rainbow Road Trip uses the plot of the rejected hashtag MLP movie sequel." So apparently, Rainbow Road Trip, the plot being used to it, the story being used for it, is a story that should have been used, that was proposed, I should say, to be used in a sequel to My Little Pony the movie, the 2017 movie. Now, I'm also looking up here too as well. Now, Sebastian Cordova also posted this 2 hours before he posted the one I just read. He says hashtag MLP movie 2 doesn't exist and isn't on the works. The 2021 hashtag My Little Pony movie will not be related to G4. It will be a standalone story. G5, maybe? They put that in apostrophes. So, yeah, basically what I talked about when I first talked about this during my lunch break at work on Friday, it almost sound. Well, I'm not saying it almost sounds like, but it's not going to surprise me that the My Little Pony movie that comes out in 2021 is its own thing. Like, G5 will happen, maybe before or afterwards, but this movie won't be related to it. It might have the same characters. It might have its interpretation of Twilight, Rarity, Applejack, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Starlight, Spike, Sunset, Celestial, Luna, Cadence, the whole gang. But it won't be connected to Friendship is Magic or whatever they're going to call Generation 5. It's not going to be connected to them. It's not going to be connected to them whatsoever. So I would assume that if that is the case, that's going to be very intriguing. Because let's take a look at the Transformer movies and stuff, whether you like them or not. The live action films, the live action films, if you will, will always their own individual thing. They had no connection to any of the other Transformer media, the comics, the animated shows, nothing. The same with the original TMNT movies back in the 90s. They had no real connection to the film to the late 80s to mid 90s original TMNT cartoon. They had no connection to that. The live action films are their own thing. You get what I'm saying? The same thing with the comic books of Sonic the Hedgehog. When Archie Comics had them, yeah, they tried to emulate later on the Saturday atmosphere, the Saturday morning cartoon atmosphere. And even though they did maybe one or two comics that kind of tried to connect them, most of the stories had nothing really to do with Saturday mornings. They had nothing to do with the Saturday morning cartoons. They would just, like I said, the atmosphere was just influenced later on by what Saturday AM had done. So this wouldn't be, in my opinion, if MLP is going to be a standalone film in 2021, this would not be the first time. And the reason I say that is because when you think about it, being its own individual film, not connected to Friendship is Magic or whatever they're going to call Generation 5, opens the door. It opens the door for so many possibilities. It's not funny. It opens the door and it allows more leeway. It allows more leeway for what they can and cannot do. It allows that. Excuse me for a second. Sorry, I just had to let my dog out to go potty. But like I said, it opens the door and allows this to happen. It allows these kind of things to take place. Because if you base something on a movie, if you base a movie, if you make it, let me put it this way. Hold on. If you create a movie and it's based on an animated property, you can only get away with so much. Back in the 80s when the Transformers movie came out, the only reason it was violent as it was, even being under a PG banner, which, a little bit of trivia here, PG-13 was in existence, but it wasn't as noticeable as it is now. A lot of those PG films that came out then that definitely were not PG, but borderline PG-13, were re-rated later on in history by the MPAA. But again, getting back to point, the only reason that movie, Transformers 1986 movie, was as violent as it was due to the fact that was the fact that they were using it as an excuse, as some people would put it, to kill off some of the original toy line, some of the original 84 to 85 toy line to make room for the new 86 to 88 toy line. That's what they were doing. Thank you for the comment on the It's My Life fan vid of Shadow the Hedgehog there, Garless. Thank you for that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, But like I said, it was violent for that reasoning. Nowadays, a movie like the 2017 movie may have been dark and a little bit mature at times in certain moments, and even would tease us with the possibilities. But the thing is, it was based on a currently running franchise, a successfully running franchise. So even though they could tease certain moments, do certain moments and all that, and they do that in the show, don't get me wrong. Heck, check out Castlemania, for example. There's a scene in there that gets memed all the time with Fluttershy thinking Applejack got crushed by a pillar or something. But point I'm getting at is if you kind of separate a movie that's based on the same property that a show that's currently running on television is based off of, you could get away with a little bit more because you don't have to worry about it having any consequence whatsoever on the show. And in fact, that's the one thing a lot of people kind of criticize at times about the start of season 8. It's like almost immediately they point out what happened in the movie. And for those that didn't watch the movie, it's like they're basically telling you in the first few minutes, oh, you got to go see the movie. You should check out the movie to see everything they're talking about. It's just basically like boom, 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 quick recap. And nobody liked that. They didn't. They didn't like that whatsoever. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Had to feed my dog there. Had to let her out, let her back in. Anyway. Ooh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. All right. But yeah, like I was saying, it kind of basically allows the creators, the writers, and the directors, and all that to kind of have a little bit more leeway if it's its own standalone thing. Like, even though people can assume, or even notice that, it's based off, Friendship is Magic. It's got Twilight Sparkle in there. It's got Rainbow and Rarity and, you know, Fluttershy and Applejack and Pinky and all of them, just because it has them, and whether or not it's CGI, and apparently this will be, this new movie that is, it doesn't mean it's going to be connected to G5 or Friendship is Magic. It could be its own thing, which means you can get, like I said, you can get away with a little bit more. Heck, you could probably even, if they felt like it, they can even say, you know what? We had a chance at that PG rating in the 2017 film. Why don't we utilize it here? Why don't we use the advantage a PG rating gives us? And you know what what that advantage is, right? That maybe once, maybe if it's only once in the movie, let a character that's a major part in the movie, whether it's a protagonist or an antagonist, you know, get a swear word in there if they want to. Lord forgive me for saying that, but let them get a swear word in there. You know, let them, you know, heck, I've always pictured, you know, someone like Rainbow Dash saying the D word, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, like I said, you know, let them get a swear word in there if they have to. Let them do that, and see what happens. But to me, if it's its own standalone property, if it's its own standalone film, I could definitely see them, like I said, having that a little bit more leeway than they would if they had to create a film that was going to be a bridge between seasons and stories and all that. So yeah. But now getting back to the Rainbow Road Trip, of course, with an all new special, you're going to have figures, right? Well, just like they did with Best Gift Ever, you're going to have a collection pack coming. This is what they say. It's a toy line, but here's what they say about the toy line. The toy line is called My Little Pony Rainbow Tail Surprise Collection Pack. It's due out this summer. Here's what they say, and I quote: Discover the magic of the rainbow with the Rainbow Tail Surprise Pack. In the My Little Pony Rainbow Road Trip special, the main six have to bring back the rainbow when they travel to a land without color. Inspired by entertainment, these pony figures' tails are colorless until placed in water. Use water to reveal beautiful rainbow-colored tails, then repeat once the color fades away. Rainbow Tail Surprise Pack includes 3-inch figure of the main six ponies with entertainment-inspired designs, including molded manes and tails and signature character cutie marks. Also use water to reveal beautiful colors on the Twilight Sparkle figure wings, inspired by scenes from the Rainbow Road Trip special. So we're getting the rainbow back in that. And again, I think that's also going to play a major part. Like I said, something tells me we're going to get basically going to probably see the reintroduction of the rainbow powers here, and we're going to see them return mostly after that as well. Now, with that said, though, with all this said so far, you know, MLP, My Little Pony Season 9 being the last season, the movie possibly being a standalone film in 2021, and whether it's connected to G5 or not. If it's standalone, then I think it's going to be its own entity. You know, with the fact that G5 is going to be coming probably in 2020, if not 2021, other people started speaking up as well. In fact, a lot of the creative staff, past and present, have been talking about the ending of the series and thanking each other. Nicole Dubox come out on Twitter and thanked many people that brought her in. She's even said she got in late in the game thinking season 8 could be the last season. So So yeah, it's like, so well, not like, but anyway. Anyway, like I said, what was it? Oh yeah, Nicole DeBob basically said she got in late too when she came on board creatively because she thought season 8 would be the end. And in fact, Lauren Faust even posts something right here 15 hours ago. She says, "So I hear My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic is ending at season 9, 7 seasons after it ended for me. I'm full of mixed emotions, but grateful for how it." And then she's got another thing she wants to. Let's see what she also says. Apparently, she doesn't say anymore. She has another one. I think if I click on the thing, we will find it. Because Lauren Faust right now, she's focused on introducing. Okay, she says, so I hear My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic is ending at season 9, 7 seasons after it ended for me. I'm full of mixed feelings, but grateful for how it led me to where I am now, and even more so, grateful for all the loving fans who made it all worthwhile in the end. So yeah, even Lauren Faust um, is kind of like saddened by this because, in case you guys don't know, and I'm pretty sure you do, Lauren Faust, Lauren Faust was brought in to create this interpretation of Friendship is Magic. Of My Little Pony, I should say, called Friendship is Magic. She was brought in and she worked on the series for about 2.5 seasons. The half of the 2.5, she kind of supervised a little bit with season 3 and then went her own separate way. So anyway, yeah, so yeah, anyway, she went. Excuse me, what am I saying? But yeah, she basically uh, kind of helped set the tone for what we've been having for the past 7 years, seven seasons, 7 to 6.5 seasons afterwards. She kind of set the tone for that with her own unique style. She helped breathe life individually into each of these characters. She helped develop Twilight and make Twilight who she is. Rarity make Rarity who she is. Fluttershy, Pinky, Rainbow, Applejack. She made them who they are today because she made them who they are and what they've become and what they've evolved into today, I should say, because of what she brought to the table. And Lauren's no stranger to this either because she helped out on the original Powerpuff Girls, and everybody has seen what kind of a success that was. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, Lauren Faust is kind of obviously saddened by this. I'm pretty sure Lauren would have loved to have worked on maybe one more season or be invited back to work on this. There are rumors she kind of helped advise things, supervise things for this. So, for this season. So we'll have to wait and see when the season debuts in maybe a couple months, and to kind of see if she had any influence whatsoever. But I'm going to say this. I am going to say this straight up. Okay, guys? I'm gonna say this. All right? I am gonna say this. Um, no matter what, no matter what people think, and I'm just looking at some things here right now, so that's why I'm a little distracted. I do apologize. But no matter what people think, this fandom is going to keep going for as long as it wants to. Heck, there are fans even to this day, and this is the damn truth. Excuse my language, God. I mean, this is the dawn truth. Sorry. But anyway, this is the truth. You know, and everybody knows this. As a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog and a fan of Sad AM, Sad AM has still has a huge enduring fan base to this day. There are fans even to this day as I speak that are trying to get that long lost season 3 up and running in some form of capacity. We just do web comics, their own animations, whatever. They're trying to bring it back because they know that the head writer for season 2 of Sad AM had more plans in store for the show if a season 3 had developed. There are fans even to this day of G1 Transformers that feel that that's the best incarnation you're going to get, and that should be the only incarnation you get, and that no matter what comes afterwards, nothing can compare to it. When you see people like the original creator, like Lauren Faust, when you see people like Nicole Duboc, who came in late in the game, part of the creative staff, when you read what they have to say, and you can feel possibly the sadness at the fact that what they were once part of, and in Lauren Faust's case, helped create, you can understand the impact the show has had, not just on fans, but on everyone involved. Because originally, this show was not supposed to last as long as it did, but it did. It lasted long. It lasted longer than people thought. I mean, originally, it was supposed to end. It was supposed to end with season 3 and Twilight becoming a princess. That didn't happen. Megan McCarthy came out on Twitter and said, no, we still have another season to go. And then after that, we had another and another and another. And this is coming from somebody. And for me personally, I never thought, as I've mentioned before, I never thought I would become a fan. I mean, I did a video, and I've talked about it before, back in 2012, I believe, when I said, look, I'm not a brony, but I respect what the show has done. But lo and behold, about a year or so later, I start talking more about the show and about the characters. Heck, I even start to acknowledge who the characters are. I get to start to know them because maybe I took a glance at one episode or another. I think the episode I took a glance at and even recorded because I wanted to make it part of my yearly holiday specials and movies DVD sets, or DVD set for that year, was Lunar Eclipse. And I watched Lunar Eclipse and I got a kick out of it. I'm thinking, okay, there is something to this. So the domino effect just started to roll, just started to fall into place for me. The domino effect just started to fall into place for me. And next thing you know, I come out here on Facebook, I come out here on YouTube, and I say that I've become a fan, that I'm a brony. I've become a brony. I'm a fan. I'm part of the community. I love it. Because I can now see, not just from a merchandise standpoint and collection standpoint, but I can see what people see in this show, have seen in the show. I could see why they like it. I could see why they like certain characters. I could see why they like certain stories, the way they're written. To me, it's like these are the kind of shows that we are solely missing out on today on any show or any channel, I should say, any network or cable channel. These are the kind of shows we're solely missing out on. I mean, you take a look at some shows and you're like, and you wonder why, as weird as they might be, why Steven Universe, Adventure Times, Gravity Falls, why they're all so good. It's because the people behind them grew up on cartoons and they've been wanting to take ideas that they felt could really benefit cartoons and benefit characters in those scenarios, and they've been able to now bring them to life. And that's what Lauren Faust did when she first came on board and was given the job to make the series as it is. She took what she felt would really benefit My Little Pony, make it appealing not just to little girls, but to people of all ages. And next thing you know, a phenomenon is born. A phenomenon so big that you've had not one, not two, but several documentaries on it. You've had several news media outlets talking about it. Heck, even for a brief 6 seconds, you had them appear in a Super Bowl commercial wearing Indianapolis Colts outfits. The point is, no matter what people are going to think, this fandom, this show has created a legacy that's never going to be duplicated. It's not going to be duplicated, and it's only once in a lifetime. And I'm proud of the fact that I've become a fan of it. It won me over, and I'm proud to acknowledge that I'm part of that once in a lifetime pop culture phenomenon when it comes to this community of fans. I mean, take a look at what you got here. You have a group of fans that take time out of their lives to create little animation OCs of themselves to do reviews on episodes and seasons. You have men my age, younger, older, women my age, younger, older, going out and doing compilation react videos to certain episodes, whether the premieres, finales, special episodes like the 100th episode, Fame and Misfortune, you name it. And this is something that no one probably saw coming when the show first started. And yet, here it is. And I'm grateful for that. I am very grateful for that. Because it's through these other people that people like me get a better idea of how good this show really is. And it's a show based on a property I grew up on, my sisters grew up on in the 80s. And now it's been reinvented, rebooted, reinvigorated for this new generation. Heck, I bring this up and I brought this up before and I'll bring it up again. My second oldest sister was watching this series with my nephew, who we just had over last night. She was watching it with him and he liked it. And she even said that she enjoyed it because it was good. Because it was funny. It was good. So my hat's off. I tip my hat, if I was wearing one of my hats, off to Lauren Faust and anybody else involved in the show throughout the past 8 seasons and going on 9 now for making it what it is today. I really appreciate it. My hat's off to you guys. But that's not all. That's not all that was reported. Sorry, I went on a little tangent. May have seemed like I rambled there for a second, so I do apologize. But I just had to say that right there. But anyway, that's not the only thing that was reported. Jim Miller also came onto Twitter. Jim Miller also came onto Twitter And see if I can find him here. Here we go. Big Jim Miller, who goes under the Twitter name, the biggest Jim. This is what he said 20 hours ago. This is what Jim Miller said 20 hours ago. He said, a little tease for what's in store for hashtag MLP Season 9. Our 200th episode, guest stars, returning characters, cool new characters, new songs, some big revelations, a grand conclusion. Am I being vague enough? So, a lot of people were wondering if he just meant episode 200. No, this is how he puts it. He puts a little tease for what's in store for MLP, hashtag MLP Season 9. And he puts two dots, the two little like dots before, a subtitle, whatever. He says, our 200th episode, we know that's coming. Guest stars, we can only wonder who those could be. Returning characters, speculation. Cool new characters, okay. New songs, some big revelations, a grand conclusion. Now, what I take from that when Jim basically does this little tease, as far as the 200th episode, we know that's coming. What it's going to be like, we don't know. Is it going to be like Slice of Life? Is it going to be a hybrid of Slice? Is it going to be a hybrid of what we've been getting lately? Like it's Slice of Life, but it's sort of a mixture of that and a mixture of Fame and Misfortune and whatever else. Who knows? The guest stars, you can only wonder. I know a lot of people want to see Tempest Shadow come back, and that does play into the returning characters. So if Tempest Shadow comes back, I'm wondering if maybe they got Emily Blunt to come back and voice her. That would be a surprise, seeing as though Emily Blunt has no problem doing. Obviously, they have the money to get her for a movie. Can they get her for maybe a half-hour episode? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the guest stars could range from anybody from television actors to established voice actors to even established musicians, artists, female artists, male artists, groups maybe. And again, guest stars could range from even big time movie stars, like an Emily Blunt, a Ty Diggs, Kristen Chenoweth. I'm looking at the poster I have right now. Zoe Saladini. Zoe Saladini, the girl that plays Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy. I could probably see them coming back. If this is the last season and they wanted to go out on a bang, I think they could probably pull that off. Returning characters, again, that kind of plays into the guest star portion. I know that Josh Scorcher, a.k.a. Firebrand, wants to see the character of Cheese Sandwich come back, and that would mean we'd probably get a return of Weird Al Yankovic to voice him. So that'd be nice. Obviously, we're probably going to get Grandparent coming back because I'm thinking, something's going to happen. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. But the way Jim Miller's putting it is it sounds like the 9th season is going to probably be, not probably, but it's going to be must watch. It's going to be must watch is what it's going to be. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming from what I'm getting from this tease, it's going to be must watch. One of the returning characters I think a lot of people want to see, and hopefully they got Rachel Bloom back for this, is Autumn Blaze. Because one thing I pointed out one time when I talked about this is if they're not going to go Rarity Spike, I would love to see them go Spike Autumn Blaze. Think about it. Think about it. The Kirin are half pony, half dragon, right? Need I say more? Spike is a dragon. Need I say more? But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm hoping she's one of the characters. And I'm sure everybody else is. We know Sombra's coming back. So he's part of the return. We know he's coming back. Let's see, who else? Oh. Mario's Papadoulis. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Did I watch any of G1? What's my opinion? Yeah, Mario's. I did watch G1 when I was a kid. It was mostly my sister's kind of like show because I've said this before, I'll say it again. Back when I grew up, because I was born in 79, I'm going to be 40 this year. I know that sounds strange, right? I don't look it. A lot of people at my job say I don't look like I could be turning 40, but I am. But here's the thing. Back when I was a kid, and I'm sure anybody that grew up in the 80s would acknowledge this. The way we were kind of programmed, if you will, when it came to shows, is boy shows were for boys, girl shows were for girls. That's how we were programmed. Even though Transformers and My Little Pony did what they could to integrate both genders into watching the shows, with the big brother ponies in My Little Pony and the female Autobots and Transformers, still the status quo was there. So yeah, I did watch My Little Pony when I was younger, but I was more into Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, and all that. The only reason I would ever watch MLP G1 back when I was a kid was because of the fact that it was either raining outside or there was nothing else to watch. So, I ended up watching it. Yeah, my opinion on it is I thought it was good. I thought it was a good show. And you could definitely see that Lauren Faust, Megan McCarthy, Nicole Dubach, and everybody involved in the series for Friendship is Magic has taken a lot of influence from G1, or some of the major influences from G1, and brought them here into this generation. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's good. I mean, heck, I have the series. I have the complete series on DVD, not just once, but twice. Well, actually, I have the complete first season according to Rhino Entertainment when they had the license to distribute the series on DVD. But yeah, I have the complete series. I have G2, which is My Little Pony Tales. And of course, I have up to about officially bought, I should say. I have up to season 7 of Friendship is Magic. And I recorded just last season 8, because what I did, long story short, is I would DVR the episodes, and then when I had the opportunity, I would record the episodes on the DVD, and that's what I did. That's what I did. But anyway, like I said, Jim Miller, basically, getting back to Jim Miller's tweet here 20 hours ago, again, returning characters, obviously, I'm hoping one of them is Autumn Blaze. I know people like Josh Scorcher, a.k.a. Firebrand, want to see Cheese Sandwich. King Sombra, obviously, is going to be one of them. So it's going to be really interesting. I know we're probably going to get Cozy Glow coming back because people are saying, well, they ended season 8 on a cliffhanger kind of deal. So it's going to be interesting where they go from there. The new characters, that's going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure what he's talking about with new characters also has to do with the Rainbow Road Trip special we're getting in the summer. the characters out of Hope Hollow. So that's going to be pretty cool. New songs. Obviously, you got to get some new songs. Hopefully, a lot of people. Not for me, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are hoping. Hoping for some very replayable songs in this season, because to me, if you take a look at my top, I think what was it, my top 5 or top 6? No, my top 6 countdown, my top 6 MLP songs, or my 6 top MLP songs, I should say, in the series. Those are the kind of songs you can listen to and enjoy, and even if you felt like it, dance to. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are hoping we get that. As far as my favorite G1 episode, I don't have one in particular, but if I was to say if there's one episode that's good, one episode that I think you should watch, in fact, it's 2 anyway, is you got to watch the pilot, which is Return or Rescue from Midnight Castle or Escape from Midnight Castle. And the other one being The End of Flutter Valley, which served somewhat as a sequel to the My Little Pony 1986 movie. So those would be the ones I would check out as recommendations. Now, getting back to Jim Miller's tweet here, the other thing he says is some big revelations. This is going to be interesting. This is where a lot of people are going to be questioning, okay, what revelations are we getting? Well, that is a good question. That to me is an enormous question right there. Like, okay, what could be revealed? I'm sure one of the things people are hoping for, and even if they don't want to admit this, one of the things people are hoping for is the revelation that Applejack's parents are still alive. Why? Well, one, we don't know how they passed. Okay, we don't know that. Although it's always been hinted at that they have passed, but we don't know what happened. It could be revealed that maybe they're not dead. That would be a huge twist. Like maybe something happened. Think about it. Think about it this way. We're getting the villain Grogar apparently in season 9. What if he has something to do with the disappearance? Maybe they're enslaved. We don't know. So that could be a big revelation there. Another revelation, and I don't think this would be a big revelation at all, is the whole Spike and Rarity deal. I mean, here's the thing. This whole thing with Spike and Rarity, and I am a supporter, believe it or not, but this whole thing with them has been going on since the beginning. And even when Lauren Faust was in charge, Lauren Faust did an episode, or helped create an episode that focused on this. She did, called Secret of My Excess. And she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that, but she did. And there are moments in that episode, especially early on, that kind of tells you that, in my opinion, that Lauren Faust wanted to ship these two. She wanted to put Spike with Rarity, or at least acknowledge that there's something there between them that's beyond friendship. But she never got a chance to see that follow through. She never did. And even though it was played down for seasons to come, there were still moments here and there. It wasn't until, as I've mentioned before, until this past season, that it was brought back to the forefront. and more so brought back to the forefront in Best Gift Ever. Because no matter how you look at it, when Spike sang his part of that finale of that ending song to Rarity, when he was singing his part to Rarity, he wasn't singing just a song about how how much her friendship means to him. He was serenading her. He was singing a love song to her, and thus, by doing so, he was telling her how he really, truly feels about her. That basically she means more to him, that her friend, that basically the friendship means, it's not just about the friendship, but he's telling her right then and there that she means more to him than just as a friend. And they have moments in that, during the part when he sings the songs, where you kind of see that there is romance being teased. The star sparks in her eyes when he starts singing and says certain lines like, compared to you, and you could tell it's not just to tease the fans of it, but in a sense, I think they realize that if they're going out in season 9, they might as well go and just make this happen finally. That's the way I look at it. It's like, just, it's time they make this happen, and just go on with it. You know what I'm saying? Or just move on after it. So I'm guessing, my opinion on this is, I'm guessing that the revelation we're going to get, or one of the big revelations, is perhaps Rarity has always felt the same way about Spike that he's felt about her. But the only reason she started to feel about him, if not more so about him, the same way he feels about her, didn't really start to come into play until he started to show that there was more to him than just, a dragon with a crush. So that could be interesting. Other revelations, I think, is we're going to probably finally find out the connection between the apples and the pie family. We might even find out that perhaps Flim and Flam, think about it this way, same main coloring, as a certain father of a certain country gal. We might find out that maybe Flim and Flam are related somehow to the apples. Think about it. No one's ever brought that up, but think about it. So, yeah. Basically, when I look at any kind of revelations that could occur, it's up in the air. Speculation is abound. One of the biggest revelations people have is that Twilight's going to become Celestia's successor. Like, maybe Celestia is going to step down and Twilight's going to become the new princess and a ruler, if you will, of Equestria, because that's going to be her destiny. Like, Celestia will still be a princess, but she'll just be the princess of the sun. Well, Twilight's now just the princess of friendship, but now it's the princess of Equestria. That could be a big revelation too. That could be a big revelation. But here's my theory. When Jim brings up some big revelations, one of them is, of course, what people have been rumored to hear, Fluttershy and Discord getting together. Okay. That, I'm not going to rule that out. I think that's going to happen, just like with Spike and Rarity being officialized here as well. But when I hear about some big revelations, here's what I see. I see probably the biggest revelation, and I don't know if they'll go this route, but just hear me out. I would not be surprised if Starswell, if he returns in this series, in this season, reveals that the Equestria that Sunset's in right now, the human Equestria, is the past, and that the Equestria, where Twilight and the main 7, main 8, if you will, the Equestria, that is Friendship is Magic, is the future. I would not be surprised if that's the revelation, that what Sunset is right now is past Equestria, and where she came from is future Equestria. That would be a big, to me, that would be not just a big revelation, but a big twist, because it's like now all of a sudden you're connecting, you're not just continuously connecting both series together, because they are connected anyway, no matter what. But you're basically saying that the world that Sunset is in right now, the world she's occupying right now as a human, is the past, and where she came from is the future. Be right back, guys. Sorry, had to give me some water. Yes, I am drinking water, in case anybody's watching and wondering. But anyway, like I said, that not only would be a big, huge revelation, but that would be a huge twist, because, like I said, what Sunset's at right now is the past, and where she came from and where she originates from is the future. It would be a unique kind of twist, because it's like, so basic. It would be a unique kind of twist, because and this goes back to returning characters. Even though she wouldn't be necessarily returning as far as the show Friendship is Magic, but it'd be a nice return for her to Equestria, and that's Sunset. And that is Sunset. So, just imagine, Sunset's reaction, if she finds out that where she's at is the past. It's the same world that she came from, but it's the past, and where she came from is the future. So that could be a big revelation. Like I said, not just a huge revelation, big revelation, but a huge twist as well. It really could be. Now, the other revelation I think that's going to happen is involving Big Mac and Sugar Belle. And I think the revelation is they're going to get engaged. And this is going to play probably into the finale. Or at least, probably pretty much the finale. In the grand conclusion is what I'm thinking. Because one of the things that some people brought up, I think Silver Quill recently did this. He did it in his recent After the Fact episode called The Lover. He brought up the idea that Big Mac could probably be moving to the village where Sugar Belle's at, because when you take a look at the village from a map perspective, there is no real place to get food except outside of the village. They got to go outside the boundaries to get it. I mean, yeah, they can make food and all that, but they have to go outside to get it, or they got to wait for some ponies to come into town to supply them. What Silver Quill brought up is a possibility. It's a huge possibility. And that could be part of a big revelation, that not only is Sugar Belle and Big Mac engaged, but after they marry, Big Mac's planning to move over to Sugar Belle's village to help them out there. So again, don't be surprised that that's a big revelation. That's one of the revelations that gets revealed. Now, as far as the grand conclusion goes, that's up in the air too. Again, my thought process is when I hear a grand conclusion, I know, well, not, I don't know, I should say, but I'm projecting the possibility that we're not going to get a 2-part finale. We're going to get either a 3 or 4-part finale, because a grand conclusion can't just be 2 parts. It's got to be 3 or 4. And the grand conclusion to me is going to involve a final battle or fight with Grogar, the fate of Equestria, of course, fate of friendship and all that. I also see, like I said, Big Mac and Sugar Bell's wedding taking place. Twilight probably ascending and taking Celestia's place, where Celestia steps down. I could see I could see so many possibilities. So many. You know, and knowing how the creative staff is sometimes, knowing how they are sometimes, I would not, and I repeat, I would not put it past them, ladies and gentlemen. It's the truth. I would not put it past them to end the show on a twist. And that twist being a reboot. In other words, something happens to where, a la maybe Thanos, Infinity War, whatever, something happens, and the world gets a soft reset reboot, and then you get a message saying, to be continued in Generation 5, or in the 2000 to be continued in the 2021 My Little Pony movie, or something like. I would not be surprised if they did something like that, just to get you to watch Generation 5 to see what happens. I would not be surprised, but I don't think they'll go down that route. Again, it's a possibility, but I don't think they will. But yeah, grand conclusion. Again, we can only speculate on what that's going to be like. Again, returning characters. I think we all want to see Autumn Blaze will come back, Cheese Sandwich, all that. You know, revelations. I think, of course, Spike and Rarity being somewhat officialized now. Maybe revealing Rarity's always felt the same way about Spike, but because of certain situations, she could never really let it be known or something. Maybe we get a revelation that like the Flim Flams are somewhat related to the Apple family. Maybe we find out finally what connection the Pie family has with the Apple family. Stuff like that. Maybe we'll find out that, you know, again, speaking of Applejack, maybe her family's alive. Maybe they're enslaved somewhere. Maybe her parents, I should say, are alive. They're just enslaved. We don't know. Big revelation again. Sugar Bell and Big Mac, I think, getting engaged and being ready to be married, and Big Mac revealing he's going to move to, you know, Sugar Bell's village to help, you know, start up a farm there and supply people with food so they don't, so people have a place to get food and all that, so they don't have to travel far or wait for some ponies to come in and supply them. So it's all up in the air. You know, but here's what I think they're going to do, though. I'm hoping they do this because it seems they like to tease this a little bit, and they know fans want to see it. I would not be surprised. Excuse me. I would not be surprised that for the 200th episode, and maybe even the grand conclusion, I would not be surprised if they showcased an alicorn, maybe in the background or something, that's the OC version of Lauren Faust. Remember, okay? Think about that. Think about that for a second. 200th episode, and maybe the finale, even if it's in the background, you see the alicorn OC version of Lauren Faust. That being a bit of a thank you to her for helping make the series what it is today, and helping for being the mother, if you will, of the entire series and help make it what it is today. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. And I'm sure some people will be appreciative of it. But overall, yeah, just thought I'd come. But overall, we'll have to wait and see what they got planned. 200th episode, like I said, could be a hybrid of both slice of life and fame and misfortune, where you have the main six this time involved along with these other characters, and we'll go from there. I guess we'll just go from there. I'm hoping we get some team ups in this episode with friendship missions that we wouldn't expect. Like, I'm hoping that we get, because I'm thinking this would be crazy. I think this would be crazy, but we need to get a follow up to Amending Fences. We need to get a follow up to Amending Fences, and the follow up I think we need to get is a friendship mission, I should say, pairing Lyra with Twilight. Because we didn't have Lyra in Amending Fences, we could have her here. So that would be something I think fans would be really appreciative, of. I'm sure they would also like to see the princesses get called on a mission, like Cadence and Luna and Celestia. So maybe that's going to happen too. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, but like I said at the beginning, just a lot of stuff came out this week, on the past 48 hours on My Little Pony, and mostly the fact that season 9 is now confirmed to be the last season, and they plan to go out on a high note, a grandeur note, as Jim Miller puts it. They'll pretty much confirm that we're getting a new Friendship is Magic 44 minute special. We're getting a new 44-minute Friendship is Magic special in the summer. I'm projecting probably around the 4th of July weekend. And it's also confirmed that we're going to get a movie in 2021, whether it's its own entity which has no connections whatsoever, or it has a connection. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it is kind of sad to hear the show's ending, But I don't think Friendship is Magic is going to be totally gone, because, like I said with Best Gift Ever, when I found out about it, and we found out about it being 44 minutes, I said it was the start of a new trend they were going to go down with Friendship is Magic, and they're continuing that trend with Rainbow Road Trip. And don't be surprised if we get another special in the... Well, obviously it is planned, I think, for the winter. We're going to get a special in the winter. Don't be surprised if we get a couple more Friendship is Magic and even Equestria Girl specials before we hit and go into Generation 5 and into this movie in 2021. So Friendship is Magic, in my opinion, is still going to be around. It's just not going to be around on a seasonal basis. I think they're going to be focused more on doing 44-minute specials to keep the content and the characters alive and going. And, keep that up until we, like I said, until we hit the movie and we hit G5. So yeah, that's really all I'm going to say, guys. And, just to acknowledge what everybody else has said, I appreciate what the show has done. I mean, originally I didn't think I was going to like the show. And like I said, I did that video about not being a brony back in 2012 or something. And it's almost immediately after that, I started to kind of hear what people were saying about the show, saying, hey, you need to check it out. You should, telling others, not just me, but others, check it out, give it a chance. And slowly over time, it run me over to the point that, like I said earlier, I came out on Facebook at one of the group pages and publicly, and then I came here on YouTube and I said, look, I'm a fan. I'm a brony. I'm a Pegasister. Well, I'm a brony, I should say. I'm part of the brony community, brony Pegasister community. I'm sorry about that. But I'm a brony. I'm a proud member of the fandom now, of the community, of the analysis community, stuff like that. And it's not just because of the show and the characters itself and the stories. I mean, yes, Rarity and Luna being kind of like the eye candy, in my opinion, of the show kind of really helped out. and Luna on the more relatable kind of thing, along with Applejack. But anyway, um, getting back to what I'm saying, it's not just all that. It's not just the characters, the stories, and all that, but it's also those that have been fans themselves. Some Silver Quill, Lightning Bliss, Golden Fox, Josh Scorcher, Josh Scorcher, um, Aramount, who came on board later on. You know, Doll Wilsonator, Thespio, Katie Patterson, aka Midnight Sonata. You know, just a whole bunch of people. Tricky Fox. Miss Anthropony. Anybody I can name that I've watched videos and reviews on talking about the series. Even the mysterious Mr. Enter and all that. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't have probably given the show a chance, even more so than I was going to do in the past. Like, I was probably just going to give it a glance here and there. If it wasn't for you guys talking positively about, what this show is about, what these characters are going through, and, what stories we get, fans like me probably wouldn't have checked it out and given it the opportunity that we have and become fans ourselves and come full circle when it comes to, at first not being fans to now being fans. So I thank you guys for, really opening the door for a lot of us that were kind of not sure at first to now suddenly be like, yeah, we're fans to the point that we now collect and all that. Even the people like AC Race Best, Little Shy FIM, and people like that. Thank you very much for helping us to really help open the doors to make these opportunities, to allow people like me to come in and kind of really kind of give the show a chance and have it win me over in the end. So thank you very much for doing that. But really, guys, that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you all think down below. Thank you all for joining me in the live chat. Really appreciate it. From Girosine to Christian Robinson to Mario's Papastodoris something. Thank you all, guys, for tuning in live. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And let's just look forward to season 9 and see what it brings to the table. And that's all I'm going to say, guys. So till next time, God bless. Take care. And I am out.